Hey guys, it's Drexel Heard here with Black Hollywood Lies Political Culture. We're talking whether or not the Democrats and Republicans can unify Trump and the NRA. And Bravo TV's Scott Nevins from the People's Couch joins us right here in the studio. Stay tuned.
You are now tuned into Black Hollywood Lies, Black Tea Party.
Did you guys watch the Billboard Music Awards this weekend?
I actually seen pieces of it online.
Troye Sivan was like the one to watch, and his song "Youth" was just great. He was just kind of doing like this whole like thing. Welcome to Black Hollywood Lies, not Black Tea Party. Goodness, political culture. I'm your host Drexel Heard. You can follow me at Drexel Heard.
Hey, I'm Elayna. You can find me at Hey It's Lay.
Hey, this is B. You can follow me at B Sorrells.
And from Bravo TV's The People's Couch, we are welcoming the wonderful Scott Nevins to the panel. Yay! Welcome, Scott.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You can follow him at Scott Nevins. Join our conversation in the chat room or follow us on Twitter at BHL Polyculture and use the hashtag BHLPC. Welcome again. It's good to see you guys. You guys have a good week last week?
It was good. It was good.
It went kind of fast, actually.
It did.
Really
It
It
was
was like I
fast week.
snoozed through it.
Snooze through it?
Yeah, like next.
I feel like that's how it's going to be until the summertime. Like after Memorial Day weekend, we go into like summer mode. Like we're like springtime chill mode, and then summer mode, you kind of get into like the parties and everything that's happening and concerts and stuff. But as we get into the summertime, that signals the end of the primary season. Yes. So right now we're kind of in this weird situation where the Republicans are like a month into like wrapping up their nomination, and Democrats are still trying to figure out what they want to do between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Now that they haven't already figured that out. However, the focus right now is on party unification. Now, we've seen Republicans try to unify themselves behind Donald Trump. Do you guys, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, we talked about it last week with Paul Ryan and his meeting with Donald Trump.
Right.
Do you guys think that Republicans are kind of play unifying, or are they, like, just to say they're going to be unified? Or do you actually believe they're...
I was just about to say that.
They're just...
Yeah.
It's like anti-Hillary Clinton, so they're going to unify and they don't really feel...
Well, it's multi-layered. Republicans will back each other until the world blows up.
Yeah.
And not from global warming, by the way, because they don't believe in it.
Strangelove.
Yeah, they will back each other. So here they had Donald Trump, who we saw that when he was winning, he was getting 40%, 38%, 36%. They didn't like him, but because he's the nominee, they are now following him. And actually, there's a quote from his book that is amazing, from The Art of the Deal.
What's the quote?
And he says that if you lie to people 3 times and tell them what they want to hear, they'll eventually believe it and follow you. That's sort of paraphrasing, so don't yell at me if I'm misquoting. But that is the whole crux of the quote, and that is the whole basis of his campaign. And he has literally bamboozled Republicans. And to me, I was hoping it would be sort of the downfall of their party. You know, as a gay man, I've had enough of the Republican Party. Coming from a Republican family, my dad was a big Republican. Today would have been his 78th birthday. I feel like the fact.
To your dad.
Thank you. I feel like that I'm on a political show.
On
He's
his birthday.
Yeah, on his birthday. He's like, you damn liberal. So, but I feel like the Republican Party, would unify behind a Walmart, one-armed, giraffe or something. It's like they don't care who it is.
Yeah.
I guess it would be a
Democrat.
one-leg giraffe.
One-leg giraffe.
They don't care who it is as long as they say, you can keep your guns and you can cling to your Bible and you can do all that stuff. And that's all they care about. They don't care that, President Obama has been one of the most successful presidents that we've had in a very long time. They still will not admit that he was successful, despite the fact that they have done everything they can to stop him.
Bring him down.
And all of, and I know we'll talk about this later, but with the NRA, supporting Donald Trump now and endorsing him, they're saying the same thing about Hillary Clinton that they said about President Obama.
Right.
He's going to take your guns away, and it's not true.
Right. And I think, and it goes back to your point of, you could say things 3 or 4 times and people start to believe it. I think that's been the Republican mantra since George Bush. Since George W. Bush, they kind of, we believed everything that the Bush administration was pumping out for the Iraq War. We believed that No Child Left Behind would work because they continued to say it. But we've seen time and time again that Republican pieces just do not work for the country. Whether or not it's trickle down economics, like that stuff just does not work for a modern America. So Reince Priebus right now is really trying to wrap things up for Donald Trump. And I think that Paul Ryan's going to be the holdout. I think until the convention, he's going to be the holdout.
I think
as
there'll be
long
a little
as
more.
he can.
There'll be more than that. But, if there's one thing that unifies Republicans, it's a Clinton campaign for presidency.
Oh, yeah.
The chance that she could be president. And the important word in that statement is not Clinton. It's the fact that she could be president. Let's not underestimate the misogyny that is in the Republican Party. It is widespread. It is rampant.
Even though Republicans have a lot of female senators and female congressional representatives, they tend to put those females on the back burner.
Sure.
You never see Republicans like Olympia Snowe and some of the other bigger senators are their best senators. I don't even mean like they're great females. They're their best
senators, period.
Period. And they tend to put them behind. On the Democratic side, though, we're starting to see a little bit more unification right now. As the primary is starting to end, even though Bernie Sanders is out there kind of still doing whatever he's chugging along against Hillary Clinton. I mean, we're in the middle of a primary season. You start to understand that piece. But as the DNC starts to get closer to convention and setting us up for the convention, do you guys see, as you watched over the past week, the Democrats starting to unify, or again, do you think this is Bernie Sanders trying to not get blacklisted when he gets back to the Senate?
At the end of the day, he's gonna unify with his party. I mean, he can be as rebellious as he wants or want to finish the race as hard as he wants, but at the end of the day, we're all a part of the same party, and I think that we have the same agenda, we have the same goal. So no matter we talk about the numbers over and over, and we've been talking about the numbers for weeks. He knows the numbers. His team knows the numbers. They've sat him down. They let him know what's what. So he as a man, he knows what's happening. He can predict it. So at this point, he's just sticking to his word, like I mentioned last week.
So why would he say what he said in Carson, California, on the primary night, Tuesday? Was that a week ago already?
Like last week?
Yeah, last week. When he stood in Carson, California, and he let his crowd boo the Democratic Party. I have to disagree with you. He is not a Democrat.
And last week, we did talk about that too, how he wasn't playing fair. He was basically fighting against his own party people. We talked about the crowd and how he was encouraging them to continue. And I feel like at that point, it was more feelings. It was more emotional than it was political. He let his feelings show. He's losing. We know that he's losing. So at that point, he's mad.
Yeah, but is mad a leadership quality that you should have going? Like,
no, he's proven he's not going to be a good leader.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, how do you say the things that you say in Carson and still say the same, and then still want to unify the party and still know the numbers and almost flat out lie to your people about what the state of the race is? Like, lying even today, saying that he feels like he could win the Democratic nomination. Hillary Clinton would literally have to be blown up.
Yeah.
He's a hopeful.
And I think that's the piece that we talked about last week, where we were just like, he's just really holding on to this faith. He's really, he's really holding on. He's really holding on, and he's and like you said, he's just really just trying to complete it. He doesn't want to be a quitter, and I think that's just really that. It's the pride thing.
He's a hopeful.
I think it is a pride thing.
He's egotistical. He's
Instead
egotistical.
of just to come to a woman and saying, you know what, not even just on a gender thing, but just the better person has won. He just continues to just.
And I don't think that obviously he doesn't think that Hillary Clinton is the better person. But
no, he thinks she's the lesser of two evils.
Right. And that is the problem. That's why I feel it's going to be a little bit tougher for his people to understand that. It's like the 25 years the Republicans have attacked Hillary Clinton, and all Republican voters know is the negative parts of Hillary Clinton.
Sure.
And which are very skewed. So if you're trying to convince your people to vote for somebody after you have literally beat them down with negativity on a candidate, then that's a little bit different. Like, at least Barack Obama's whole campaign centered around hope
and change
other than fire and brimstone. And I do think that that's what Bernie Sanders' campaign has done. I think it's going to be harder for Democrats to unify around somebody like Bernie Sanders going out there and campaigning for Hillary Clinton when you've been preaching this fire and brimstone message.
Well, I do want to say, we have to remember when you look, like you said, looking at the numbers, we are in much better shape than we were in 2008. When you look at the numbers, when you really look at it statistically, we are fine. We're going to unify and we're going to win big. That's the good news, is that we are going to win big. Donald Trump has alienated so many minority groups that to win in America, you need minority groups. Now, that's not to say there aren't Latinos for Trumps and all that. That's fine. We are going to win big.
There, though?
Yes, there are. No, there are.
Just like there are some black people for Trump. We talked about that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ben Carson.
And what's her name from the Apprentice?
Oh, you're talking about
Omarosa.
Stacey.
Ben Carson,
Dash is
Omarosa.
another one
Did she
that's for-
officially endorse? I'd like to know.
I know she campaigned for President Obama.
She who?
But Omarosa.
Omarosa.
From the Apprentice.
Yeah, exactly. Who?
Right.
That was what, 15 years ago?
Listen, this is Black Hollywood Live. The least we could do is talk about the 2 black people voting.
I mean, if she's going to campaign for him, who's going to cover her shift at the Olive Garden? It's like, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. I love the Olive Garden. Here's the thing. We are in such good shape. Yes, it looks horrible right now. And yes, Bernie is out there being very destructive. And he's not a Democrat. I'm sorry, he's not. I'm glad he wants to be a part of the party. But if you want to join the party, you have to learn the rules. He knows the rules, but he has, I'm not going to use the word lie, but he's misinformed and misguided his followers into believing that the system is rigged, that the Democratic Party is rigged, that the Democratic Party has somehow fixed the election for Clinton. The same rules, by the way, that she lost following to Barack Obama. So all of these conspiracy theories and all of this stuff, and now they say never Clinton, Bernie or bust. What you're going to see is once the nomination really happens at the convention that Bernie Sanders today called messy. He said it's going to be messy. Yeah. To me, the only thing that's going to be messy there is his embarrassment, because he's not going to get the nomination, and he looks like a fool already, and he's making it a real show. He's really trying to make a big deal out of nothing, much ado about nothing. You don't have the nomination. You're not going to win it in California. You're not going to win it in New Jersey. It's over. The minute at 8 p.m. when those results come in New Jersey, it's done. She has the nomination.
Do you think they'll wrap? Do you think MSNBC, they kind of they do that whole thing? Do you think they'll wrap it up and just say Hillary Clinton was the nominee? I don't think they'll do that, even though it would be very nice. It'd be very nice. But I don't think they'll do that.
They're going to definitely do that. That's just for rating purposes.
Presumptive nominee Hillary Clinton. That's what they'll say. That's what they'll put.
I'm actually really sad.
Why?
Because I feel like.
Don't be sad.
I'm a little sad
waiting for Hillary to take over. So yeah.
Right. He's like no, not because Hillary's going to be the nominee. I'm more so sad at the character that we're seeing from Bernie Sanders.
I agree.
And I think so even when we're talking about it, these are things that he has said. These are things that he supported, especially within last week in the most recent events that we covered on our last week's show. So that makes me sad because I feel like had there not been a switch, it would have been a little more graceful. We wanted him to drop out a little more peacefully. He wasn't going to do that. So it was like, fine, fight till the end, but at least be graceful about it. So I think that the fact that this controversy is coming up between the two candidates at this point is making me really sad because I don't want us to become what the Republican Party already is.
Yeah.
Right. But on the flip side of that, I think Bernie Sanders has, and we've been talking about this for the past few weeks, just about down the ballot and supporting down the ballot Democrats for Bernie Sanders. He came out with a list of 8 different candidates. I actually looked at them all today because I was like, I wonder who he would endorse. They're all great progressive candidates. There's a couple here in California. There's a couple, and I can't remember in the other states, but the ones in California are actually pretty decent. But he's also supporting the Democratic chairwoman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, out of Florida, her opponent in Florida. Now, you've got Hillary Clinton won Debbie Wasserman Schultz's 23rd district by 64%.
Yeah.
That's a Hillary Clinton country. On what planet? Even if Tim Canova raises more money than Debbie Wasserman Schultz, the likelihood of him winning that district is very slim.
Yeah.
Because there are no Bernie Sanders supporters. Not that there are none. There are less Bernie Sanders
there are not
supporters
many.
in the 23rd district than there are Clinton supporters. So, but how do you, again, back to the unification topic, go back and go after the chair of the Democratic Party but you want the Democratic Party to back you.
Yeah, and by the way, I mean, I'm sure you all heard about the deal this week that the Democratic Party extended an olive branch.
Yeah.
And now Bernie has, I believe it's 4 and...
It was more like a twig, but that's okay.
well, no, but listen, it's an honest, you know, he gets to pick 4 to 5 people to sit on the platform that shapes, on the board that shapes the platform.
Right.
That's a big win for him. That is what he wanted. And he picked very progressive, very, very, very progressive people, but you know, his supporters never once mention it. They never talk about it. They don't see it as a win. They view the Democratic Party as some evil corporate shill. And that is the problem. He has drilled that into their head. And when they took that and ran with it and made it a much bigger, like, conspiracy theory, he never stopped them. He never stopped the violent behavior in Nevada. And not even, let's take violence out of it because they all say there's no video of chairs being thrown. Okay, let's just talk about the despicable behavior to Senator Barbara Boxer, who is actually a buddy of mine. I've had the lovely chance of sitting, having dinner with her and hanging out with her. She's amazing. She's a legend. She's my spirit animal. She's so great. And to treat Barbara Boxer like that at a Democratic convention, like, it is despicable, it's disgusting, it's dangerous, and Donald Trump was loving every single second of it. And still is, by the way. And saying that all of Sanders supporters are going to vote for Trump, because now he's trying to pivot to them as well. And there are polls out where, there's like 40% of them that say they're going to vote for Trump. To me, that's very privileged.
Right.
That's very privileged ignorance.
Right. And just back to what you were talking about, the platform committee, I think people forget that, you know, as we just talked about Debbie Wasserman Schultz as the chair of the Democratic Party, the chairman actually could have picked all 15 people.
Yeah.
And the fact that she was like, you know what, Bernie Sanders, I see you. We're going to try to do this right, at least for you for right now. We understand that the issues that you have raised are important to you. I'm going to allow you to pick 5 of the 15 people. And to be honest with you, Cornel West, Keith Ellison, first of all, Cornel West is like my least favorite black person in America.
I agree with you.
Stand him.
God.
I agree like 90%. I agree with you.
Oh my goodness, he's
Who
like
are
the
you?
I know.
worst. First of all, I respect.
What did he call President Obama? Are we
mean,
allowed to even say it on here?
I think I can't remember. I have to look it up.
No, it's despicable.
Yeah, I mean there were some
the
choice
N-word,
words that he has had
Yeah.
for President Obama. There's some choice words that he has had for Hillary Clinton, and just I respect him as a professor.
Right.
I respect him as a person of black culture. However, I do not respect his viewpoints as a person who is supposed to be somebody that is to be respected in general. And so I think that was a poor choice of a person on that panel. Keith Ellison is great. He's like, you know, congressman. He's like the first Muslim congressman, even though he's black, and he's from Minnesota. And I think he'll be great on the platform. But Cornel, it's just
So
it's
it's the politics part of him that you just don't really care too much about.
I don't think it's going to be. I mean, Elijah Cummings is chairing this committee. I don't think that Elijah Cummings and Cornel West are going to duke it out.
Clash.
Yeah. And when he said messy, that's what he meant.
But
because he knew. And I said,
but it's calculated. That's what I don't like. It's calculated.
I said this to somebody the other day. I said the reason Cornel West is on that committee is to stick it to President Obama.
It's to cause problems.
So they could cause some issues, and Cornel West can come back with his foo-foo hair. And
Don't bring his hair in there. That is not, his hair is an icon.
He's not. What's the boxing guy? Don King. Oh my goodness. So okay, I'm done talking about the Democrats right now. So let's.
But we're in good shape. Let's keep saying that. Yes. We are in good shape. We're going to unify.
These are all minor hiccups, though.
Yeah.
These are all minor hiccups.
Like they are stuck with Donald Trump.
Right.
True.
Donald Trump, who
could be worse.
Who we have a vault of footage and newspaper articles and interviews where he is saying everything. The most horrible, despicable things about Latinos, about African Americans, about LGBT people.
About women.
I mean, the stuff he says about women. Any woman who votes for Trump is a fool.
Right.
I'm sorry, you are a fool.
I imagine that he'd probably get like 20, 30% of the women vote.
Oh, no, he's
and
going to get a lot of Republican women.
Republican women. I just meant like overall. I just meant like the numbers are going to be heavily skewed.
I just wonder what his
towards
wife is saying at home. Like, is she like
She's on
agreeing with him
stage
when he's
saying
talking
vote
about
for
women?
Trump.
Like,
Yeah.
she's
She's on stage
going.
saying, I'm not registered to vote, but vote for Trump.
Right. That,
Well,
like, literally.
We definitely want to know what you guys think about the Democrats.
Yes.
So if you're in the chat room right now, we see you. I see you because I'm watching you guys. So Tammy, Tim, and Joseph, we all see you. Joseph says, Brittany, you're his favorite. So, so if you're in the chat room, definitely talk to us and follow us on Twitter and join the conversation using the hashtag BHLPC. Okay, so Trump then last week, speaking of Donald Trump, gets endorsed by the NRA. The one group that he disagrees with on everything. If you go back to what Donald Trump has said about gun control and the way that we should be conducting ourselves in America to make America great again.
What does that mean? Can we actually, can I, honestly, I want to talk about that for 1 second. No, I'm being dead serious.
This is true.
I am a white man in a room with 3 African Americans. Can we talk about this? Make America Great Again is one of the most racist statements I have ever heard in my life. When does he think America was great? When African Americans were enslaved? When they didn't have equal civil rights? When women couldn't vote?
He thinks America was great before Obama became president.
I think that's what
Really?
it is.
Because it was in the
that's-
crapper.
That's literally like his reference. He wants to go back 8 years before we had our current president, and that's what he wants. He wants it back when
we were attacked on 9/11.
basically.
When my cousin, who was a firefighter, died on 9/11 saving people, we were attacked. The economy was terrible. Bush was making up lies to get us into wars. That's America being great?
Great for him. He has a limited perspective.
Well, yes, that's an understatement.
Yes, and people's perceptions are their reality,
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's just the truth about it. And I think because I thought he meant it that way too. I'm like, we're making America great again. Like,
Right.
what do
It's
you mean?
offensive.
Right.
It's
It
offensive
is.
because
Very.
we're great right now. We've made a lot of progressions as a country, and we're going to keep progressing forward. So
Yep.
when he says that, it is very offensive.
Yeah.
But it's Donald Trump. Like, do we expect anything less?
I know,
really?
but I think we have to stop saying that, though, because I say that, too, and I've caught myself saying it. Oh, it's Donald Trump. He is now the Republican nominee.
Right.
You have to hold him to a standard
Because we've
of
pacified his
every nominee.
behavior.
If
Yeah.
Mitt Romney had said stuff like that, people would have been up in arms. Even
he
though
would
he's
have been burned.
Yeah, exactly.
A
So
47% comment from Mitt Romney tanked him. Like,
Yep.
so could you imagine if if Donald Trump said,
Same
he
difference.
just,
sorry, I can't help myself.
if he said that, like he would it just doesn't faze him at all. And I think, again, to your point, we've seen what Donald Trump's demographics are. They are not America.
It's
They're-
the
I'm
Sarah
gonna rephrase
Palin.
that. They are America. They are just parts of America that have been kind of isolated, President Bush, when he ran in 2000, he ran as a compassionate conservative, which was not what these Trump voters are.
Right.
No. Yeah.
So they have not had a president or a representative that speaks to their views in a long time.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And we talked about how he lacks humility. Him and everyone who supports him basically lack that humility that we need in a president or that we need in a nominee. Yes. Like, it's still shocking that he's made it this far. Like, when we talk about that over and over. And
It should have been John Kasich.
Right.
John Kasich would have been the most incredible nominee for the
actually
Republican
liked him.
Party.
Yeah, he was
And
actually
he would have beat Hillary Clinton. And I am a
I
huge
think he
Clinton
would've-
supporter.
right.
He would have beat Hillary Clinton in a landslide.
Or it would have come very close. I think it would have
think
been,
it would have been really close.
It would have been like 51,
People,
49.
you
close.
talk to a lot of Democrats. They like him. They love Clinton,
I
but they
love
really
John
like him.
Kasich.
listen, Drexel is not going to let you have that, okay?
I know. I was testing him a little bit. I was seeing how far I could push this cup across the table before it fell.
He said, no.
Real close.
No, listen. As
No,
a Hillary supporter,
I agree. I actually said from the beginning. I said
You didn't
John
say that the
Kasich.
last week. You
I've
was
said
like
it
John
several times.
Kasich.
John Kasich would have been a terrible nominee for Democrats.
yeah,
It would have just been.
that's a better way to put it. Yes.
It would have been a tough fight. And even if Hillary Clinton was not the nominee and it was Bernie Sanders, it still would have been a tough fight because moderate Democrats would have gone over to John Kasich and that would have been the end
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
Well, and that puts a pin in that whole argument for Bernie Sanders supporters. They're saying, look at the polls right now. Hillary and Trump are neck and neck, but Bernie is 13 points ahead. Bernie has not been vetted. The Republicans have not spent any money
Right.
to attack Bernie. That is why he's doing better. And by the way, Bernie is hurting Hillary in those polls because right now it's like...
Even though he doesn't think so.
He doesn't think so, but it's the truth.
Right.
You know, right now it's May. Why are we looking at general election polls? It's very foolish and uneducated to do so. So you go, okay, let's look at them. Right now it's basically, do you like vanilla or chocolate, right?
Yeah.
But we haven't talked about if you're going to put sprinkles on top. We don't have a VP choice. We don't have debates.
Right.
You know, all you know is the flavors. And, you know, yes, Trump is brilliant at eating up and all the oxygen in the room and all the press.
I want to bring up something because somebody in the chat room, Joseph, just said talked about Trump's money. Donald Trump, he said Trump has money. His money speaks just as loud as his mouth does, unfortunately. However, Donald Trump didn't spend a dime in this campaign
at all.
He lent it.
But do we blame the media for something? And Joan Walsh actually tweeted today, really talked about Joan Walsh from the National Review. I think she's from the National Review. Had said the media needs to kind of refocus themselves on.
I agree.
They kind of control the narrative of what we hear from Donald Trump, and they gave him free airtime. Could you imagine?
Because they thought he was a joke.
People, you know, we talked about this. You know, Bernie Sanders supporters talked about this Bernie blackout. It was a anybody but Trump blackout. It's
true. Oh, yes.
And this had nothing to do with Bernie Sanders, had nothing to do with Hillary Clinton, had nothing to do with John Kasich, Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, any of those people.
Yeah.
It was the Donald Trump show. And, you know, it looks good. I mean,
people had yard fences. I mean, literally had things like pickets in their yard. They were saying anybody but Trump. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
And look what happened.
This is true, yeah.
It's shocking that we are sitting here in 2016 talking about Donald Trump as the Republican nominee. Do you believe, though, that when people go into that booth on November 7th,
That they're going to vote for him?
that they're going to be able to look at that name and they're not going to think about The Apprentice and him calling Rosie O'Donnell all those awful things and all the things he said about Mexican and women and African Americans, that they're going to be able to get past the fact that he is just a reality star and a failed businessman.
or on the flip side of that, are they going to go into that booth and say anybody but Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, there will
They
be
will
some.
compartmentalize themselves enough, I think, to go, oh, I really don't like Donald Trump, but I really may not really like Hillary Clinton. I'm talking about the Republicans because Democrats are going to go, well, shit, I've seen what's happened over the past few years, and I've seen the progress Barack Obama has made. I've seen him take out the head of the Taliban last week.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, no.
Kaboom.
But I mean, even you spoke about it last
Yeah.
week, though, and you were basically saying that there's a lot of people who agree with what Trump is saying behind closed doors, and they don't want to admit that, you know, a lot of the racist things that he does say, that they secretly are like, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went into the polls and marked Donald Trump just secretly and just
But not-
with a smiley face.
Not even though, because remember I mentioned not coming out and saying I support this person, but when I go into the poll, I'm not going for Donald Trump. Like it's either it's gonna be Hillary or Donald, right?
Yeah.
No write-in. It will not be a write-in candidate. It's just never going to happen. So Bernie
I know
Sanders
people are
supporters
still
out
saying,
there
like, Bernie,
who say
we
they're
can
going to
write
write in
Bernie
Bernie,
in.
you are literally wasting. Vote for
But
just
are
time.
they, though? You don't
But
think if they're writing,
I think
They still.
Here's what I say.
Yeah.
I think that they would have a more success. I think that for third and fourth party candidates, they are much more successful if you can prove a vote. Not a write-in vote, but Jill Stein is going to be on the ballot, and you've got the Libertarian candidate. I can't remember what his name.
Exactly.
Okay. but you've got these parties actually on the ballot. So why would you waste your vote on a write-in candidate when you can say, hey, listen, I don't like the Democrats or Republicans. I'm going to actually vote for a third or fourth party candidate.
Right.
But
who
Jill
aligns
Stein
with
is
me.
no winner. Let's
She's
be
not.
honest.
But I'm saying, but if you can prove just number-wise that a third party candidate can get 10% of the vote, and I think that Libertarian candidate has like 10% of the vote right now. If you look at the polls right now, you know, if you can prove that there are some numbers there, you have a better chance of convincing people that third and fourth party candidates should be on the ballot at that point, and they should be giving their money towards those people.
Yes. Or what you do is support Hillary Clinton and the Democrats, as Bernie Sanders will do. No, you will see it. It will happen. Bernie Sanders will support her. You support that because you know with Bernie at her side, whether as a VP choice or just on a cabinet, you know, whatever he's doing, you go, and you vote because you know that Bernie Sanders now has Hillary Clinton's ear and the Democrats' ear, and that the things that you want are actually possible now. Bernie talking on the campaign trail, none of that's possible right now because he's losing. But when you join forces and you defeat Donald Trump and you become part of this party, you have a 90% more chance of that stuff actually happening. Jill Stein cannot win. She's not going to get anything done. It's I consider her the Trump of the Green Party, the way she acted on Mother's Day on Twitter, and I was very disappointed in her. But,
But do you think, and back to the Trump NRA thing real quick, but do you think that NRA voters actually believe, like, I was shocked when Donald Trump won evangelical voters.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, we talked
there
about
is
that,
not a single, I feel like, and Donald Trump could tweet at me and correct me if I'm wrong. I'd be shocked if Donald Trump has ever gone to church. I'd be shocked if he's ever picked up a Bible. I'd be shocked because, he said 2 Corinthians at Liberty University, and we all know that is not 2 Corinthians. Like, anybody who reads the Bible knows that. It's the same. So if you look at that, and like, I thought the evangelicals would have rallied around Ted Cruz, and they did not. So I would be very interested to see if these NRA voters are going to be like, you know what, I like this Donald Trump guy. But he doesn't even agree with them.
But he changed his platform. If you go to his website, he changed his platform to say every American has the right to have a gun. He talks about how he now carries a gun. Here's the thing, Donald Trump is lies.
And the crazy thing
He's a chameleon.
Hillary Clinton believes more in gun rights
Yep.
than Donald Trump
Absolutely.
does.
So listen, the Democrats just have and
Bernie Sanders.
We have
Bernie
a hill
Sanders
to
believes
climb.
more in gun rights.
Yes. The NRA
More than
supported
Hillary
him.
Clinton.
Yeah.
The NRA supported him.
Right.
We need to just do a lot of legwork this time because Donald Trump we all thought was laughable. It's not laughable anymore.
Right. It's
And
serious.
so
Not at all.
we have to get out there and, there have been 20-something years of Republican lies that we just have to keep fighting down with the truth. And, every day Bernie trolls and Trump trolls come at me and they say, oh, what do you work for? Correct the record? I wish I would be so wealthy I could afford a house in Los Angeles with the amount of correcting I do on social media, on Facebook
But
and
you're
Twitter.
not a Hillary shill?
Oh, I'm a Hillary shill. Yeah, I'm all of that. I want to know
You're not
where
a
that,
Democratic whore?
I want to know where, always. I want to know where that money is. I want to get that money. Send it to me. Correct the
Right.
record. I'm working.
Please send it to me too. We'll tag team.
Yes.
Oh my
All right,
gosh,
on
if you
Facebook.
tuned in last week, we went in on a whole episode that Drexel had with some of his followers on Facebook about
He
the
knows because
exact
Scott and I,
issues.
Scott and I,
Oh,
we not
we're
back
on
and
it.
forth, we're on it.
Hilarious.
Sometimes
on
he's
it.
on those threads. Sometimes they're both like,
And I
see you.
I just can't do it anymore. And I still do, but I walk away quicker because I go, it doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
she's winning the nomination. If you don't want to be on board, sad for you.
Right.
But we see so many inconsistencies, and I think as long as we continue to point out those inconsistencies, then it's
In Trump?
Yeah. Then it's hard for him to continue to lie. He was like, wait,
well,
let me make
wait,
sure.
no, no,
Because he's saying these lies, like
not how it
exactly
goes.
how he's been flip-flopping, like, throughout this
Sure.
whole primary. And the people that he's speaking to, the people who are his supporters, they're like turning a blind eye to it. You cannot,
Republicans.
Right. You cannot turn a blind eye to it if we keep putting it in your face. Like, listen, he just said this to you last week, and then today this is what he's saying. How are you missing it?
Here's a great example, though. So my friend, I'm not going to say her name, but she was approached by the Clinton campaign to work with them, and they said, we're going to put you in touch with blah, 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 who's the head of our African-American media division. The fact that, I'm telling you, Donald Trump does not have an African-American media division in his
He
campaign.
has Ben Carson and Omarosa, though.
Oh, great.
wow.
But what I'm saying is we each have to do our part to speak. I'm going out on the campaign trail. I've already told them I would. I will go out and speak to LGBT voters. I will go out and speak to people who are fans of the People's Couch. I will speak to people at grocery stores to get the truth out. Because I believe that our numbers are stronger. And if we get minority groups out to vote, we win this thing big. And Donald Trump, somebody finally gets to say to him, you're fired.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. That would be-
Well, Tim thinks that John Kasich would have lost to Hillary Clinton.
Okay, well, I like the sound of it.
And Joseph thinks that the Democratic Party and Republican Party are at a civil war right now. It's just reminiscent of a civil war right now. But we definitely want to know what you guys think. So, like I said, use the hashtag BHLPC
Yes.
on Twitter or on Facebook or whatever, and we will be happy. Or comment below in on the thing, and we will be happy to do that. So, from one reality show person to another. Our goal is we've got Scott Nevins at the table. We have, so thank you for being here.
Thanks for
Thank
having me.
People's Couch season finale.
Yeah.
this week?
Yeah, Thursday. So they moved us. We're usually on Fridays at 8, but because it's a holiday weekend, they have moved us to Thursday at 10 o'clock. So we're
weekend.
going to party it. We're going to kick off the weekend right. So it's exciting.
Nice.
You know, we were supposed to do 12 episodes this season. We got extended by 8, so we did 20 episodes, which is
Yay.
unheard of for a TV
Yes.
show. So
That's a lot.
people are loving it, you know. Okay, so today I always measure if our show's doing well by like if we get recognized, because for the first 2 seasons nobody knew who we were. Today I'm like sweating it out of the gym. I look so hideous, and this woman stands in front of my treadmill and goes, "I love you. I love your show." And I'm like, thank you. And I'm trying to smile and be sweet. She goes, "You're amazing. Look at you. You're even at the gym. You're amazing." And I was like, I need you in my pocket in the morning.
She was straight New York.
She was from Queens, New York, like me.
Right.
Yeah. But no, so it's been great, you know, and I'm very proud of our show. At one point we were the little show that could, and then Bravo realized that people were loving it, and they really put their power behind it, and people are fascinated by it, and they just love watching it. And to me, I'm proud of the diversity on the show. You know, we have so many different types of families and groups and people, and I think people see a piece of themselves in each group, and somehow in all of the groups, you see a piece of yourself.
Right.
Kind of like the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
But you, Blake, and Emerson are like the Golden Girls. You
We
are the
are.
Golden Girls of the People's Couch.
We are, although we have our glamas, which are, you know, our mature.
They're
yes,
so
yes,
funny.
yes.
They're sweet, aren't they? I love
Yes.
them. I love them. So we have our season finale Thursday. I'm going to live tweet it on the East Coast time, and then we have our little wrap party with the cast. So we'll get to see everybody, which is fun.
It's very exciting.
And as we switch to the For the Record segment of political culture, I guess I kind of want to I want to dig into your brain. Like, you're so opinionated, and we've already, yes. And we've already heard, you know, so much how you feel and what you think. But I guess we didn't talk about, like, if you had to choose a VP pick for the Democratic Party, who would you pick and why?
All right, I have a few possible.
Here we go. All right. Not one. He has a few.
I know.
A dream one for me would be Michael Bloomberg.
Okay.
I know. Every time you say that on Facebook, I just don't comment. I didn't even like your comment on that. But go ahead.
I know you don't. But that is more from having lived in New York, voted for him twice. You know, I'm a big die-in-the-wool Democrat, but voted for him twice. Very long story short, my best friend's brother was a firefighter who died after 9/11. Mike Bloomberg came and said the funeral, and then spoke at the funeral, and then became very close with the family. To this day, like, checks in on them. Like, he's a great guy.
amazing.
He has donated money to so many important causes. He also evens the playing field when it comes to Trump being a New York billionaire. You know, they just sort of like cancel each other out in a great way. But that was like a fantasy. For me, I mean, everyone keeps talking about Elizabeth Warren. I think we need her in Senate. I think we need her back, you know, doing the fight, because we need to also win a lot of seats. This isn't just about Trump and Hillary. We got to really take control again.
Right.
But, you know, there's been a lot of things floated around. I love the theory about Mark Cuban, because I'm such a fan of Shark Tank. The people are like, oh my God, he loves Hillary. What if he ran with her? I don't think that'll happen. I think what you're going to see is
And
that
it wouldn't look good for like the for this whole like corporate biz. Like, it just would not look good for Hillary Clinton if she picked a business.
You can say
corporate
Wall
business,
Street.
a
Wall
Wall
Street.
Street-esque. Right.
Yeah, but I you know, I'm excited to see who she picks, and I think it has to be a very strategic pick about the state they're from, because the electoral map is in our favor.
Right.
But we need somebody. But, you know, what I will tell you is that Donald Trump will most likely pick a woman. I have to say he'll try to go the Sarah Palin route. Yeah, I think. Or because he needs somebody.
Said Jan Brewer last week.
Jan Brewer, which would be a disaster. Sarah Palin would be a disaster for them. You know, it would be great for us. But if he doesn't, I think he'll choose somebody very, very, very historically political, like in the world, so that he can say, well, I've got him by my side, but for the things I don't know.
And we kind of talked about how whoever they choose will just be like a quiet kind of tag along almost.
Right.
And I guess so you're in television, we watch you on the People's Couch. What role do you think that reality TV plays into the politics, plays into the election, plays into the primaries?
I mean, listen, I'm on a reality show, but I'll tell you, it has killed politics, and Donald Trump is the proof of it. Donald Trump is the love child of the sort of reality culture and you know, just sort of Republican evilness. And so when you combine those two together, you get Donald Trump. And he has been a bully, which is something people love to watch on reality shows. They love to watch fights and screaming, and they love to watch people going at each other and reading each other and all that.
It's like Survivor. They always love the bad guy.
Yeah, and that's what you're seeing with what's going on with Donald Trump. At the end of the day, he's a failed businessman and a reality star. Like, that's it. He has no qualifications to be president at all. And yet people like that. because they're so dissatisfied with how the country's going, even though we're in an upswing and things are going well and we've progressed so much further. So I think that reality TV has done a disservice to our country, and we knew that already just by what people watch. You know, we watch everything on our show, but it doesn't mean we love all of it.
Right.
You know, and we say that on the show. We're like, this is crazy. Like, these people are insane. People have become accustomed to doing that. And you see it. You see it if you're in restaurants, the way people behave if they get into a quarrel. Suddenly it's this huge, instead of like back in the day, it was like, oh, and you'd walk away. Now it's everyone has to fight and has to be captured on video.
And they have to put it on social media.
Exactly, yeah. And social
There's
media.
a world hip hop star.
Yeah. And social media, you know, has played a big part for Donald Trump. And, you know, like he calls Hillary Crooked Hillary, and everyone's trying to come up with a term for him. And I just think the term Donald Trump says it all.
It does.
Right.
Yeah. I wish we had more time to pick your brain, but now it's time for B and the trending topics.
Yes, the trending topics outside of the bubble. So, guys, El Chapo is back in the news again.
I want El Chapo every week.
He is back in the news again, and so they have approved his move here into the U.S. So he has 7 different cities that he's going to be basically getting charged in, and that includes Brooklyn, Chicago, Miami, New Jersey, L.A., and this expands over 20 decades of him drug trafficking.
That's a career.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny about them moving El Chapo is that Republicans are so afraid of moving terrorists who cannot go anywhere from Guantanamo Bay into their states. But the man who has been like elusive, who B said was like Carmen Sandiego, you can never find him. Like, this man can escape anything, and you want to move him into your state. You have no problem doing
He's
that.
already done full, like we said before, he's done full-blown surgery. He's done everything to escape, and he's back at it again. So,
but even he hates Donald Trump. He had a hit out on Donald Trump.
But no,
he did.
Donald Trump, though. Remember you
Oh
said
my
that?
gosh. Oh yes. Oh my goodness.
So, another thing that was really crazy that's going on is that there is a girl, her name is, what's her name? Crystal Lake. And she was in the news because she wore a hat at work. She works at Home Depot, and she wore a hat that said America was never great.
My friend sent this to me.
I love it.
have very
I saw
strong
that
opinions
picture.
about that.
And so, of course, everybody's saying she needs to get fired. She needs to lose her job. This is ridiculous for her to say that. And Home Depot went on and basically supported her and was like, we're not going to fire her. That's her personal choice, even though it is not appropriate for work.
Right.
We're going to let her go. And
I think that's what's interesting about it, though, because we know that politics and work usually is a no-go.
Right.
So the fact that that Home Depot came out and supported her, like, everyone's entitled to their opinion. We're not going to all agree. So if she feels like America was never great, that's fine. That's how she feels. But not to work. Like, don't wear it to work.
And I hope they can see it at home, the picture, because it's hilarious. Like, she has her whole little home outfit on, and she
was
just has
not-
and she's just
not a
bringing out
care
the
in the
She
world.
didn't care.
She was
Not a care in
chilling.
the world. Yeah, I have very strong opinions on that hat and whether or not. I mean, you know, I come from a military family, so my views on American exceptionalism is very different from a lot of people. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, but. I mean, really, people. I mean, the comments on Facebook about her, with every people, you know.
Oh, it was horrible.
People were tripping. I mean, it was crazy, and you know, I mean, if you saw the photo, you know, she's black. So like her perspective of America obviously is going to be very different than the people that are commenting.
Definitely.
So, but I thought it was just an inappropriate hat, but you know, hats off to her.
Yeah, I was gonna say hats off to you for the courage. And then lastly, which was a very nice thing and very uplifting, is that the parents of the Paris attack, she was from California, and she was originally from Florida, and you know, she passed away obviously in a Paris attack in November, and her parents ended up getting her diploma just this past week from California State. So I thought that was really sweet, and they did a whole segment about her and showed her picture up there, and her parents were able to come up there and accept her diploma on their behalf.
Nice.
So I thought that was a very beautiful thing, and you know, it's just really sad, and we obviously send our prayers to them. So that is what's going on around the world, guys.
And don't forget to check out the fact that Barack Obama was in Asia last week.
Yes,
went to
in
Hiroshima, and just check out the photos on whitehouse.gov because the entire thing is incredible. Like, this president really has gone to every place that no modern president has gone in decades.
And so much courage for him to do that, yes.
As an American, you're sitting there watching this guy go around to these people. Like, it's like a his final tour. And he's I'm going to do this one last lap. I'm going to go to every place that you people told me that I couldn't go before my re-election, and now I'm going to hit everywhere. Pretty soon he's going to be in North Korea, and everybody's going to be like, what though? They're not even going to know what's going to happen. Him and Dennis Rodman and Kim Jong-un just sitting over shooting hoops in North Korea.
And apparently Donald Trump, he wants to go too.
Right.
Donald Trump won't even get past security.
Nope.
Oh my goodness.
Well, now that he carries a gun, no, he doesn't. He needs to have his, his permit.
Well, thank you so much, Scott, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Every second of it. It's all Elayna.
That's all the time we have for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into Political Culture. Remember that you can use our hashtag on Twitter, BHLPC, or you can follow us on Twitter at BHL Polyculture. You can find me at Hey It's Lay.
You can find me at Drexel Heard.
You can find me at B. Sorrells.
And where can they find you, Scott?
At Scott Nevins.
And you actually have two notes that we want to talk about. Your live show coming up and the weekly show.
Yeah, I'm going to be in New York on June 10th doing my live show, Scott Nevins Live in New York, returning to where I first started doing comedy, so that's kind of fun. And then I do a radio show every Wednesday on ubnradiotv.com, which is broadcast all over the world. So tune in. The Ann Walker Show with Scott Nevins.
Awesome.
Right.
Make
Check
sure
it
you
out,
tune
guys.
into that.
Bye,
Until
guys.
next time.
Bye.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African-American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live. Cyprian, Instagram, @KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or